Today we're going to talk about dyes. Over here I have a gold dye, 4 of them, but I want to see what it looks like on my character over here prior to putting the gold dye on. So what you're going to do is you're going to come over to your piece of armor. If your piece of armor is also in the inventory, you can do the same exact steps. It's just in a different spot. Hold the control button, left click. That's going to bring up your dressing room. In your dressing room, you can select different colors. So right now I do not have my cloak showing, whereas up here I do. So you can actually see that I've already changed the head to gold. I already dyed it. So if I wanted to change the head color to something else, let's say I want it just washed, what's the original color look like? Turns it back to black. If I decide I want to change it to crimson, see a different color red, we can do that. Also, if you're like, well, I want to see what the back color looks like because I've taken it away, you can go ahead and select any color under back and it will go ahead and put your cloak on for you. If you want to zoom in and get a little closer detail, you can just click that and it will zoom in. It'll move for you. Reset takes you back to the beginning. It'll take off your cloak. How did I take off the cloak in the first place, you're wondering? Is you just go to cosmetic outfits here. What I have is equipped and you'll see these eyeballs. So if I want to take off the head, I can take off the head. If I hit reset here now, there's no head. Head equipment. If I want to put it all back on, we have it all on. We have this, and you can tell here my character now has the cloak on. We're going to hit the C button again and bring up the character panel. And then if I had other armor that I wanted to put on, then I could just do the same thing where you hold the control button. If your armor is over here in your inventory, you just hold that and click it. All right, now that we discussed the basics, we're going to go ahead and dye a piece of armor so you can see what that process looks like. You're going to right click on your dye. It's going to black out everything in your inventory and you'll see that your cursor now has a little cup of dye. Right now I'm going to dye this cloak. So I'm going to scroll over to cloak and I'm going to left click and then I'm going to hit yes. And you'll see him twisting his cloak and dyeing it. And then once it's done, now we have gold armor. If you're picking up quests like this for the task at hand and it says complete 10 tasks and you know you're picking up the items such as this kind of item, a pitted axe, and it says in red this may be turned in for task Umbar Outer Gondor, you can actually go to your options and type in task and there'll only be one thing, automatically add tasks to your quest tracker. If you don't want these things popping up and cluttering up your quest tracker, go ahead and click that box and uncheck it and hit accept. That way if you pick up any of these, they'll still be in your quest log, but they won't be hitting your quest tracker over here. So have fun. Something I wanted to cover while questing here, I'm doing a mission of abandoned supplies. It's a T1 delving right now. I'm just trying to knock out my weekly quest. And something that you may enjoy is the music of LOTRO. Now, this music changes per area you're in, and normally it's very cool sounding and it's great background. However, you could be listening to it. Well, right now I just have ambiance crickets going. But you can kind of hear it start. So in this area, if I turn down the ambience, you can kind of hear the clarinet, or maybe it's an oboe and something else kind of going. But when I go to attack something, that's extremely loud, and it's only during combat. So what you can do is you can go to audio and you just type in combat, and you got two things: combat sounds, which is going to be like a roar like this, or disable combat music. So we're going to go ahead and disable combat music. We hear the in-game music going. We still have the combat sounds, but we don't have the combat music, and we still retain now the landscape music. So it's kind of a personal preference. I don't know about you, but when I am gaming, I hear the music in the background, but then that abrupt change of tempo and pace, I think what it ends up doing is during normal questing and gameplay, it kind of ruins it a little bit. Now, when you go to a raid or an instance where there's a lot of things going on, it kind of adds to it in a sense of it gets your emotions kind of into it. You start to feel the intensity, and that is totally a positive. But when you're just fighting one or a couple of these mobs at a time, and then it's done, and you go back to this like quiet background music, I think it kind of ruins it. So hopefully that helps you determine another setting that you may want to mess around with. All right, the supplier horn here. If you don't want your vendor to be on top of the supplier horn, click it. And then as he's blowing the horn, just turn yourself here and she'll appear in front of you.
Dark skies, dark tidings.
Then you can talk to her and she's pretty bleak. I always hit that little magnifier up there when I'm looking for what I want. And today we want lump of wax, but we want to buy a bunch of them. So we hold the Alt button. So click it, click what you want. Hold the Alt button, you'll see a box here and a buy quantity. Click that. And then it automatically wants you to purchase the max, which is 500. So I normally do about half. It's only 48 silver. You can see how much money you have up here. And then I go ahead and click buy. And I am done. We'll see that it is now 268 because I already had some in there. But that's how you do that. Let's talk about the induction bar. You can find how to turn the induction bar on under options. I just do a search, induction, and then click induction bar display. Now it will display in two different ways, and I'll show you here if these guys do it. So there's no way these guys are going to kill me, but you see sniper arrow, that's the induction bar, and you also saw the spinny underneath. Now that underneath will always show. However, the cool thing about the induction bar is we saw a yellow bar, which means that I could run up and interrupt it. And if you read our tooltip here, savage attack deals damage to enemy, interrupt their action. Now that action can be interrupted. There's also a gray bar that will show up, and that one cannot be interrupted. However, you can hide from it. So if that sniper, let's say he's doing the yellow or the gray, I can run up here while he's charging up the gray and hide from it, and he'll be stuck in that spot. and his attack won't be able to hit me because I'm not in the line of sight. This is useful during raids and other instances where you constantly have either trouble defeating the enemy or he just does a massive amount of damage and you are not at a spot where you want to get dealt that damage. So just look for that. It's good for raids. Hi again, it's BjornbarGaming, and we're going to talk about the LOTRO map. And now on the map here, you can see that you can select each of your quests that you have, and then you can also change the color of each of them. So if you're having, 4 or 5 different quests on your quest tracker checked off, then you can go ahead and change the color so you know which one. Or if you prefer not to see that, you can check the show quest guide button. There's also chances for you to go to other portions of the map and still see what's going on over in Rivendell, or clearing your quest tracker out of the way. Up at show map, you can go ahead and select other maps if you're looking for something special. If you have a plugin, you can go ahead and open the plugin and see everywhere that there's either an explorer quest or something else. So I want to talk about using the wardrobe today. You'll see if you open up your bank, or if you have the VIP, you can just go straight to your wardrobe wherever you're at. I have 79 items in mine right now, and most of them you can see are cosmetic. I have a couple non-cosmetic in there, and one of the questions I got today was, can non-cosmetic items go in your wardrobe? So I figure we come here and we'll talk to this reputation vendor. And I wanted to look at these different cloaks here. So the first one, we're going to hit Control and we're going to left click. It's going to bring up our dressing room so we can see what it looks like. It's pretty awesome looking. If I wanted to click the next one and the next one, we can look at the 3 different ones. If we wanted to, let's say, well, we don't have the rep for this, but if we wanted to still look at it, we can do the same thing where we control and click on it. That's not my cup of tea. So we're going to hit reset. We'll go back to okay. So these down here in the gray are all cosmetic. These are actually cloaks that have armor stats to it, and I just want one of these because I think it looks cool, this one, as a cosmetic. So what I'm going to do is trade in my Mark of the Longbeard for this. And you'll see that it's in my inventory now. So it's important that it says bound to. So it's bound to my character right now. However, if I open up my wardrobe, I can click it and drag it over. Now I'm at 80. It's called Stonehelm. So I can search for it that way. If I can't remember what it's called, let's say I sell this, or in this case I just throw it away, and then I want to go back, I'll remember that it goes on your back. It's an armor piece. Boom. Stonehelm. So now it's in there. Any of my characters now can open up the wardrobe, see this, and add it. Couple things you can do here if you have stacked reputation. Now this is only 2, clicking it twice isn't a big deal, but if you have 50 or 100, you don't want to sit there and click that often. So if you hold the control button and left click, you can link it down to your chat. If you hold the alt button and left click, how many do you want to use? You can select how many. Normally you just hit all and then hit OK. And you just saw it used them all. In this Bjornbar from Lords of the Watch, I'm waiting for the Kegmaster right now or race master at the keg race for Farmers Fair. So I figure we talk about the auction house for a second. Open the auction house there, and let's delete this. Something that most people don't seem to know that you can do is in here you can just search the auction house just by, going in and finding what you need. You can change the level range, kinship only sort of thing if you just want to buy from your kinship kin members, which is like a guild. This is where it would show what you bid on if you bid on stuff, and then what you post. But if you just drag this over, it'll put your copper ore in there, and you can hit search, and here are the prices. All right, let's go through a little bit of chat commands. We're sitting here in Mordor, down at the very bottom, across from Mountain Doom. So, in that case, you have the say. Anytime you want to switch channels, you can always use this / button. That's the same as the question mark. And let's go K, space. Always hit the space bar afterwards and it'll switch channels for you. F, RA, whoops, space. O, I think, what is it, general? I don't know, I type say. If you don't know, just type out the whole thing. LFG or LFF. So those are the easy ones. If you forgot, you can always watch this video or hit help. Where does it show on mine? Okay, so when you hit help, a ton of stuff starts to pop up. I'll have to click through slowly. So you can, some of these you can use, some of these you can't use. I'll just preface by saying that. So like AFK and then message. So what that's saying is you can go / AFK and then go, fishing. You are now AFK with the message fishing. So if we go to like kinship, it should say me, AFK. And then if somebody writes me, it'll say member is AFK fishing. Okay. All of the emotes can be performed right here by just doing like / ent _ horn. Whoops, horn. Let me actually back to boom. And if I do that, nothing happens because I don't actually have that emoji. Let's try fart. Nope. Fidget? So I have the fidget emoji. But you can see all the different types of emojis here. You can also see that under Control C. And then these are all the emojis that, I currently have. And if you click on it, it'll do it for you. You don't have to type it in. It'll show you all the ones you need. I wonder, I was curious if it'd show you doing it. Does it show you doing it up here? No. Oh, there you go. If you left click it, it'll show. Oh, that's pretty dope. Yep. I like that. So I have almost half of the emojis together. I'll get my act together one day and get the rest. But if we scroll up, you can see all the different chats, / K, LFF, list channels. / O is fine. You don't have to put KO. Let's see, anything else that's useful? Trade, the trade window. You used to be able to have your own user chat that you can have people join and they could go off doing their quest. You could do yours and you just chat in your own little personal one. I don't know if that's still a thing or if anybody even uses it. There are some other ones here that are they used to be a thing and aren't. A big one that we use to determine like who gets what. Like there's the in-game looting system where you can right click if you're in a group and choose like what the level of loot has to be in order for somebody to roll for it. But if you're just like, hey, you know, roll to see who gets the item or whatever, you can always do /roll. And it would come up down here as a roll, but you got to be in a group in order to do it. Played. Let's see what happens. Did it work? Oh, you've been playing for 1 month, 1 day, 12 hours, 39 minutes, 52 seconds. So that's how long you've been playing on this like character itself. It's not like how long have you had your account. So that's the chat stuff. If you have any cool like, you know, tips or tricks, put it in the comments. I'd appreciate it. The other thing you can do with chat is making all these tabs. You could always right click, rename your tab. You can change the filters of the tab, change the text colors. It will automatically bring up this, and you can change how big or small the text is. I keep mine on 16. I used to go through all of these and change it to 14. Now I just leave it alone. What I do is like my kin chat, I leave as these different colors. So kin officer, red, kin chat, blue. That way I know the difference. Looking for fellowship. That way when I'm in my general tab, it'll pop up brown. I'll know what chat it's coming from. IMs and tells, I have come to its own tab. Advancement stuff, I normally put all the system information that pops in, like, I don't know, like you detected a stealthy creature, or you got 50 XP, or like the stuff that's kind of important, but, you know, not really, doesn't really spam, but I want to be able to quickly look at it. I have pop up here. So like all of the background, like if I do a / command, like any of these, that will pop in up here. Let's see, like your reputation went up. You injured yourself in a fall, it says somewhere here. Entered the trade channel, drank coffee, all of that. Like, it's not really information I care about, but there might be something that pops up. I'm like, did I do this? How to set up your inventory so it's just one big bag. All right, you'll see this cog here. That'll open up all the original bags that you get. And it's just as easy as grab your slot, drag it over. Now I have 2 bags. If I want to go back to just having the one, I can do that. If you're looking to add more slots, you can go to the LOTRO store. There we go. So right now there's carry-alls. These are basically a bag. It's a bag that's going to fit in your bag, and you can select what you want it to carry. It's pretty cool. It can stack up to 5,000 per item. Stores up to 50 unique crafting resources. So instead of my bag having all of these little crafting resources in it, I could just buy one of these, and then each of them would take up a slot there. But if you want to add more bags or more slots, you have these down here, which are on sale right now. You can add 5 inventory slots, so that's just going to be another row essentially added. Yeah, we'll go ahead and do it. Why not? So added 5 slots, and you'll see automatically my bag just got a little bigger. Hey, it's Bjorning again with Lords of the Watch, and I'm going to talk today about selecting a target. So right here you have your mouse cursor. You can select that if you wanted to, or you can open your options panel and just at the top in the search, type selection, and you'll see there's a couple of still active buttons over here. If you go to key mapping, it'll show use selection, and you can hit U there, which will, if you click that item and you click U, you'll see your character will automatically move over that way. I stopped him. But he'll move over and he'll start using the actual item. So I have my key binding set to U. I believe that's the default. If you type in nearest, you'll see there's a couple of things. You can do select nearest foe, which would in my case be backspace, nearest player, nearest NPC, nearest fellow, and then nearest item. So I have button 4, that's my mouse button, number 4. So I go ahead and if I click that right now, it will automatically select the closest target. If I hit the delete key, same thing. So that being said, we're going to hit my button number 4 on my mouse, which automatically selects it. So let's say real quick I'm not facing that target. You can see this arrow down here says, hey, there's something that you just selected right there. So then I'm going to hit the U button, which if we remember is the use the nearest item, and my character will automatically turn around, run over, and start using that item. Alright, take care. And that's the video. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you next time.